Joining us on WHKY TV News, as he does every month, is our district attorney for the 36th Prosecutorial District. Scott Reilly joins us, and it's always good to have you come in and update us on what's going on in the DA's office.
As always, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Representing, of course, Catawba, Burke, and Caldwell counties, and I think one of the things that's been in the news a lot lately is the Second Amendment. Talk a little bit about some action that's been taken.
Right. I think everybody is familiar with the Second Amendment sanctuary counties. A lot of this started up in our neighbor to the north, Virginia, when it appeared that their legislature was going to pass a lot of restrictive laws that would really restrict gun owners and our Second Amendment guarantees. And as a result, a lot of counties, including Catawba County, have passed resolutions that would resist or fight any efforts to try to restrict our Second Amendment guarantees. I've been a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. I've pledged that I would resist or fight any unlawful restrictions on our Second Amendment, and if there are any laws or bills come to Raleigh, then I plan on being in Raleigh along with our other elected district attorneys, our chiefs of police, our sheriffs, and try to fight that. And people need to keep in mind that there are certain laws right now that we prosecute and enforce every day, such as possession of a firearm by convicted felon. Convicted felons may not possess a weapon or a handgun unless they go to the court and petition to get their gun rights back. So that's one law that we do prosecute. Others, you cannot carry a gun onto school property. That is unlawful. It is a felony. And so if you're going to a school play, if you're going to a parent-teacher conference, keep your guns at home. You can't even lock them up in your vehicle in the parking lot. And likewise, people that are on probation may not carry guns. People who have a domestic violence protective order in effect may not possess a firearm, or they're committing a crime. But in all other respects, any other efforts to restrict our Second Amendment, I will do my best to resist and fight it.
The other item you wanted to talk about is the felony murder law, and what that really entails as far as those who are charged with this.
Right. It's very frustrating to see, especially young people who, for whatever reason, are committing violent crimes. And they might go in with two people, and as a result of that violent crime, say a burglary or an armed robbery, as a result, somebody is killed. Most people do not know that anybody involved in that violent crime is guilty of first-degree murder under the doctrine of the felony murder rule. Even if defendant A did not intend for anyone to be killed, even if he did not pull the trigger, the felony murder rule states that you are just as guilty of first-degree murder as the person who pulled the trigger. First-degree murder is punishable by life in prison without the possibility of parole. So if anybody is thinking or is desperate enough to be thinking, I'm going to go commit an armed robbery to make a little bit of money, take a good look at your child. Take a good look at your mother and your fiancé, because if somebody dies as a result of what you're engaging in, the next time you'll see those people is in central prison during visitation.
Yeah, so much can go wrong when certain decisions are made, and
exactly.
And you don't, as you said, you don't have to be the one pulling the trigger, and maybe there are a lot of folks who don't know that. Maybe some, as you said before we went on the air, that are actually sitting in jail right now.
Exactly, and when their mamas come up to my office and say, my son is innocent, he didn't pull the trigger, well, I'm sorry, Mom, but he is just as guilty of first-degree murder, and he is going to prison.
Thank you so much for coming in. We are out of time. It's always great to get information and updates from the District Attorney's Office. I know January was probably a busy month, and February is upon us, and I'm sure we'll be busy as well, even though it's a shorter month.
Right, but we're still knee-deep in it. We just had a trial term that just finished. We were very pleased with the results of this past trial term this week, and we expect it to continue throughout the year. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's always good to see you.
Thanks,
Scott Reilly, the District Attorney for Catawba, Burke, and Caldwell counties, joining us as he does monthly on WHKY TV News.